I thought he made an error, to be honest. I mean, he hasn't fought in a minute.
To believe that
Days
it's
ever
a
since
bit
France
more
has
popular
begun fighting,
or a bit more
days go
famous
on, the less
than
intrigue,
it
the less
actually
care we
was.
have for Francis to go to boxing.
Hello guys, yes, Francis Ngannou again. I want to thank you all for your support, for being patient since I became a free agent since December. Working on a great deal takes time. I want to announce you that I'm officially partnering up with the PFL for the next step of my career, which is going to be tremendous. It's going to be huge. This decision with PFL wasn't done overnight. Believe me, it was a thoughtful process to get here, to find the right fit, the right promotion with the value that matches with mine. Some of you might disagree that is a great decision, and I get it. It's okay. But for me, for my fan, my family, and for Africa, this is the best decision that I will ever take for my career, for my business, and for everything. Some of you might have a lot of questions. For example, did I fumble the bag? Did I do a wrong business decision? But let me tell you what, this is the best business decision I have ever done. At the beginning of my free agency, I didn't know that I could have a deal structure in this way. I could have all this in one deal. I have myself a good guarantee, which is more important. So don't you worry about me fumbling the bag. I have a good guarantee. And most importantly, I was even able to have a guarantee of $2 million for my opponent. Whomever I'm going to fight next is going to make money too. I have a seat at the table of the fighter advisory board. First active fighter to be sitting in this board to take this matter very serious, which gonna mainly be a board that will be advocating for fighter, for the benefit of the sport and the fighter, not for the promotion, but for the fighters, because there's always two party on the table, and most of the time we forget on other party, which are even most important, fighters. Besides all that, we have a massive plan to develop the sport in Africa. With this partnership, we are launching a PFL Africa, which is going to be a whole promotion based in Africa for African to help develop fighter in Africa, to help for build infrastructure, to help bring coaches in Africa, to give those African fighters the same opportunity, the same resource as people here. They have talent, you know. The problem now is the resource, the infrastructure, and that's something that PFL really cares about it, and we are going to do that together. I will be able to manage my own sponsorship, find my own sponsor, and be able to bring my own sponsor. So I have that opportunity open for me. This deal is exclusive MMA, not combat sport, because since PFL doesn't do boxing, shouldn't be including boxing in it, and that's what we agree on. So I can do boxing separately whenever I want, if ever I want, and they are even going to support me, step out of my way, and even support me to do my boxing, as that's one of my biggest dreams, to do boxing matches. Deal like this, I couldn't have it, not anywhere close. Nobody has something close like this. The good thing is that I'm joining them on a goal that they have. You know, I didn't need to come to explain what I want. Our needs just aligned together, and then it was a perfect fit. It's the best professional decision that I have ever made. It's the best business decision that I have ever made, and you can imagine by yourself, by just seeing those few deal structure, that I'm gonna explain more and more later and give you more details about it for those who doesn't understand. So don't you worry, I'll I appreciate your concern. I appreciate your worries about me. But man, believe me, I'm doing great. With all due respect to all the other promotion, nobody could get anywhere close to this point. All the stuff that matter to me, nobody really care about. Everybody just want to get a fight out of you and then shake hand, goodbye, take money, fight, shake hand, goodbye, which is something that I don't have here. And no matter what other promoters say, no matter what some fighters say, no matter what media say, who do you think is the baddest motherfucker on the planet? Me.